Hello, hello, hello. I'm your resident bibliophile and royal witch, Empress Celestia Libri. Welcome to today's stream, everybody. It is that time of the month again to do the next Zodiac on the calendar. For today, it is Taurus, the second Zodiac of the lineup. And, yeah. As you can see, I'm not behind my desk. I'm giving the presentation today in front of my desk. So, I don't know. I guess enjoy this while you can. Because tomorrow it's back behind the desk. But in order to do the presentation, I need to move over. And we'll go ahead and bring up our first one here. Ta-da! Okay. There, and then that way you can see the presentation and you can also see me at the same time. Unlike the first one with Aries where I was behind the presentation the whole time, basically. So, anywho. So today we're talking about Taurus. Like I mentioned, it's the second zodiac or the second constellation of the zodiac. The dates for this zodiac are April 20th through May 20th. So I technically should have done this yesterday since today's the 21st. But, oops. I was originally operating off of thinking that Taurus actually started on the 21st. And so that's why I scheduled it for today. And then through things that happened, I was like, oops, wait a minute, I had the date wrong. So, but here we are. It's at least at the beginning where it should be, so that's fine. As you can see here on the first scroll that I have presented, Taurus is a bull. So we've got a depiction there of a bull, and then we have Taurus as its astrological sign right next to it. So those are your two representations of Taurus. And then, so for its mythology, now Aries, we focused on it was centered around Greek mythology. For Taurus, though, there's Greek mythology, and then there's also Babylonian mythology. So we're going to start with the Greek. And this one is centered around the woman Europa. She was a Phoenician princess. Now, she happened to catch the attention of Zeus, who you see I have depicted there on the scroll. Now, argument can be made, what woman didn't catch the attention of Zeus? Because he sure made his way around. She's one of the women that did, though. And he was struck with her beauty, or by her beauty. And so he changed himself into a white bull. Okay? And abducted her. That may sound strange. Let me continue the story and explain. So he presented himself to her as this bull, this white bull. Okay. He caught her attention. She ended up enamored, if you will, with the bull. Liked, his just how he presented himself in his softer nature, I guess. You could say she ended up climbing on top of him, basically riding the bull. When she did that, when she put herself on the bull's back, Zeus, as the bull, then jumped into the sea and swam off, took her to the island of Crete. Now, she was helpless. There was nothing she could do. So she had to ride the bull to the island of Crete. It was there that he revealed himself, showed, her who he was. I did read one depiction that actually said that he started talking to her while swimming to the island of Crete. And possibly, it might have been that he, in that particular rendition, that he revealed himself then. But either way, he at some point reveals himself to be Zeus. She kind of doesn't have a choice. He lavishes her with gifts. This apparently works because she ends up bearing him 3 sons. And those are Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Sarpedon. Minos ends up becoming the future leader of Crete, and is how we eventually end up with the Minotaur. So fun facts there. If you want to know more about that, look it up, because we're not focusing on Minos today. So, happy with the results of his conquest, if you will. Maybe not the nicest way of putting that, but happy with the results. Zeus ends up putting a depiction of a bull in the sky, or promotes the bull to a constellation by placing it in the sky. And there you go. That's it. So not much there. Not much story there, if you will, for this one. I feel like the story of Ares, there was a bit more substance to it. But that's it. And it is what it is. So to move on, we also have the Babylonian myth for Taurus. And in their mythology, it is known as the Heavenly Bull, and is connected to the story of Gilgamesh. So in this story of Gilgamesh, you have the goddess Ishtar, and she becomes angry or mad at Gilgamesh. Reason being, he turns down her advances on him, and well, she didn't like that. So she sends a bull to kill him. She's like, nope, don't like this. You are now worthy of death. So she sends a bull to kill Gilgamesh. So we're talking about Taurus today. Also, welcome in. Hi. So the bull goes to do his duty on Gilgamesh, and they get into a battle. And as far as the constellations go, their representation in the sky, it is thought that Gilgamesh himself is actually represented by the constellation Orion. Reason being, Orion is actually right next to Taurus in the sky, and Orion is a hunter. Orion is facing Taurus, and I believe he has like his bow drawn and everything, so it's depicted as if they are actually in battle in the sky. And the story goes, or it can be thought, at least, that they are still fighting to this day. So, yeah, that's okay. Happens to the best of us. There at the bottom of this scroll, you can see the depiction of Taurus. It is basically the bull's head, and one of the stars there in the middle is actually a red bullseye. It is this, what's the name of the star? I think it's Aldebaran or Baran or something like that, which is a red star. So the bull actually has a red eye in the sky. So yeah, kind of cool. And so that's basically it as far as the mythology goes. There's not much there for Taurus. But like I said, it is what it is. And that just might be the case with these constellations, depending on how much story and myth was made around them. Some might be longer, some might be shorter. I guess we'll see as we continue to go along month by month. So there's that one. So on to the next scroll. All right. So we are moving now over to the astrology side of things. And it is an Earth sign. And its ruling planet is Venus. So I realize that I have two planets up there. Earth, I don't know if you think of it more as like, don't think of it as the planet as a whole, like I have depicted on the scroll. But think of it, Terra, think of like the actual dirt. Think of the ground when you think Earth sign. Don't think of Earth as the planet. And then think of, when you think of planet, think of Venus then as its ruling planet. So, with being an Earth sign, Taurus is practical and grounded. They can make money easily. They have a focus on like that sort of thing. They are able to stay on projects for long periods of time, or until they are actually completed. So they're very determined. They're committed, if you will. This commitment can make them excellent employees, friends, or partners. Because they have that commitment, they have that endurance. They're in it they're able to stay focused and be in it for the long haul. They may have a tendency to be overprotective, conservative, or materialistic at times due to a love of money or wealth. They like to be in control and are patient/steady. They like security and stability, and it is hard to move them, which explains why they don't like big changes. They can be seen as stubborn or bullheaded. Get it? Anyway, but they are also great listeners and quite dependable. So yeah, they're grounded. They like security. They like stability. They're materialistic. They're focused on their jobs and having that security and stability financially, and that sort of thing. But they're also like, once they're on a path, they're set in their ways. They don't like to deviate. They don't like change. All right. And due to this, though, where was I going to go with that? They can have missed opportunities. So their steadfastness can be a great strength to be able to see things through, but it also means that they might miss the chance for better opportunities, and they can become trapped in a situation that no longer serves them well, or as well as it used to, maybe, or helps them to move forward. That dislike of change in them can inhibit them to be able to go to other opportunities or be open-minded to other opportunities that can cause more growth. So, as I mentioned before, their ruling planet is Venus. Venus is the planet of love, attraction, beauty, satisfaction, creativity, and gratitude. So a lot of different things there with the planet Venus. Its nature makes Taurus an excellent cook, gardener, lover, and artist. They are loyal, don't like sudden changes or criticism. They don't like depending on other people. And they don't necessarily care for not being able to let go of emotions. They do have the ability to bring a practical viewpoint, though, to chaotic or unhealthy situations. So that's good. They do take a long time in trusting people. But once you have their trust, they are very loyal. So that it makes them a good friend choice, and partner choice. And once you've earned them as a friend, you've basically earned a friend for life. So, and I have experience with this. I know some Taurus people, and there's one Taurus person in particular who definitely hard to earn that person's trust. But now that I've actually earned it, unless I do something really, really awful, I've earned that person's trust probably for the rest of my life. So, bestie material, yeah, let's go. So find yourself a Taurus. So yeah. All right, so that's scroll number 2. Let's see what's on scroll number 3. Ah, yes. So, strengths and weaknesses. They are reliable, dependable, and consistent. They're not easily moved. Okay, they're, like I said, with being an earth sign, they are grounded. They're not going to be wishy-washy. They can become a stable force in relationships and professional settings. All right, so they'll make good employees as well. You can count on them to do their job and probably do it right. You don't have to micromanage or babysit or, how's the project coming along? Are you still working on it? Or, yada, 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 that sort of thing. You don't need to worry about that with a Taurus. All right. They're working on their project. They're in it for the long haul. They're going to get it done. Okay. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to micromanage them. So that's nice. They are persistent and have endurance. They are able to, like I kind of just mentioned, they're able to follow through and finish their projects. They are practical and grounded, causing them to have a realistic approach. They are able to manage well and be focused. All right, so they're not going to easily be like scattered-brained sort of people. All right, they're going to be able to keep their mind focused, and they're going to be able to manage different things well. I wonder, they might actually be good multitaskers. Given this research, this kind of personality, they might be good multitaskers. But then they also have that realistic approach, you know, being grounded. They're not gonna have like all of these different things going off in their head and fanciful, like, ugh. All right, they're gonna be pretty realistic people, and be able to think ahead and, you know, step-by-step process, a little bit more logical, not so chaotic. They are loyal and devoted, making them, like we've already touched on, good partners and friends who will actually support you. All right, they'll encourage, they'll be good at supporting you, and that sort of thing. For weaknesses, they are stubborn and inflexible. They refuse to change once their minds are set. So the, you know, having that earth, that groundedness to them, you know, once they make a decision, they're in it for the long haul. Okay, they're committed. And so it can be really hard to get them to change their minds or to be open-minded to change, big changes especially. So just watch out for that. They have a lot of patience, but other people might need to be able to exercise patience with them. Because that steadfastness, that stubbornness to endure can be a good strength, but it's also their weakness. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're dealing with a Taurus. They are self-indulgent and lazy, or can have that tendency. They have a love for luxury, which can lead to too much food and or comforts, and sometimes laziness. So again, that steadfastness, that or security, that stability that they like to have, is great. But because, you know, you're not going to get somebody who's wishy-washy and all over the place. But that security and stability that you like to have in your life due to having a Taurus in your life, also means that, it can lend them to liking it financially. And they can maybe overindulge in that aspect of their personality where it becomes kind of a fixation. They end up having a larger amount of liking or love or fixation on money and finances and materialistic things. Being too concerned about those things, and instead of just a normal amount or letting it go and being like, okay, yep, I'm good, I'm stable, I've got retirement, I've got this, I've got that, I'm good to go. No, Taurus has a little bit more of a weakness there, where they're a little too focused on it, and it's like, okay, I'm good, but I need more, I need more money, I need more material, I need they want to show that stability, that security a little bit too much. So yeah, so if you're a Taurus, maybe watch out for that. Alrighty. Oops. Okay. And lastly, we have the opposites. All right. So as you can see here on this scroll, I've pointed them out on the wheel, on the Zodiac wheel. We've got Taurus there at the top left, and Scorpio, it's opposite on the bottom right. So you can see their representation, their animal representation. Well, they both happen to be animals. Not that all of the constellations are animals, but anyways. And then their astrological sign. So Taurus. Taurus's opposite sign is Scorpio. So Taurus values comfort and material stability. Scorpio values emotional intensity, depth, and transformation. So think of Taurus is more focused on the tangible, the physical or the tangible, and Scorpio is more focused on the emotional or psychological, the intangible. Taurus tends to be steady and calm unless pushed. So wait, no, I'll get to that in a minute. Never mind. Scorpio tends to be intense and passionate. Taurus likes the status quo and struggles with big change. They don't like making big ripples in the water. Scorpio likes to dig deep and investigate and force change. All right, so some differences there. They do, however, both of them value trust and are very committed and like passionate relationships. They are both stubborn, determined, and patient, so it can be hard to get them to change their minds. They both like being in control. So, for Taurus, that control is that security, that stability, being calm, like I said, unless pushed. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected for the most part. They like having that stability, that security, being grounded, sort of deal. And then Scorpio is like, let's dig deeper. Let's investigate. Let's, negative control or good control. It depends. It can be good. A lot of strengths can have their weakness counterpart, where a strength done too much or in excess can actually become a bad thing. So you can be in control in a good way, where, if you're in control of your emotions, and you don't necessarily, like Aries, for example. When we talked about Aries is loud and bombastic and just out there. They charge forward, and just run with it. They get an idea and off they go. Whereas Taurus is a little bit more in control and would prefer things to be stable and secure and grounded. I'm saying a lot of these terms kind of over and over again, but that's really what helps to actually explain the Zodiac. And so that kind of control is a good thing. but taken too far, and you start to see the weakness in Taurus, like with their financial and materialistic side of control, that stability and comfort and security that they like. In the financial aspect or materialistic aspect, wow, all of a sudden I'm really struggling with my verbiage here. It can be taken too far in that direction, where that control leads to them hyper fixating on it and just wanting more and more and more. Constellations are sort of similar to Harry Potter houses. Oh, that's a unique way to think about it. Huh. I didn't put that together. I'll have to think about that. I mean, in a way, it does kind of make sense, because you've got like earth, fire, air, water. So there's 4 houses basically right there, in a sense. And then each of those 4 categories influences the signs in some way, or describes them in some way. So yeah, in a way, they are kind of like Harry Potter houses. That's funny. I wonder if you guys could guess what house I am. What Harry Potter house I'm. Have I mentioned what Harry Potter house I am? I don't know if I have. Huh. I actually struggled with figuring out my Harry Potter house, because I went through kind of a lengthy period, I think. I went through a period of like identity problems. And so I struggled with like knowing who I was as a person, and just like my personality traits and all that sort of thing. And it was more of a struggle of like, I would think, well, this is who I would want to be, or this is what people say that I am, so well, that must be true. And I finally got to a certain point where I started being able to like shed all of that and start the journey of like, okay, I can't think of myself through other people's eyes, and I can't necessarily think of myself as who I would like to be. Strip all of that away, and who am I actually in reality at my core? It's probably still a journey that I'm on, but because it takes a while, especially if you're not focused on it, and really figuring out who you are as a person. But ain't no way you're a Hufflepuff. No, I'm not. I am not a Hufflepuff. So funnily enough, I've actually come up with 3 different houses over the years. I do know my actual house now. So the first one that I came up with years ago was Hufflepuff, actually. And I'm so not a Hufflepuff, so yeah, moving on. The second house that I came up with, which I want to say I came up with this house because I was in a period of answering things or looking at things of like, this is how I would want to act, or this is what I would want to be. And that particular house was Gryffindor. So I'm not Gryffindor, actually. Um, in the last couple of years or so, I have actually figured out my real house, which is Ravenclaw. So yeah. So I am Ravenclaw, the least focused on house of the four. Least represented. Let's go. That's okay. Yeah. I like learning. I like books. I like reading. Ravenclaw fits me very well. I like wit. I'm not sure I'm necessarily good at it. But, yeah. Anyway, so I'm a Ravenclaw. I am not, Slytherin was never an option for me. They're just, no. I am not a Slytherin. There's just not even a slim chance of that at all, period. Oh, gosh. One of Slytherin's words was cunning, I believe. I want to say that all three houses have, like, 3 different words at least that describe them. I don't mind going off on this bunny trail. This video was going to be super short anyways, so it's fine. Here we go. Ambition, cunning, leadership, resourcefulness, and determination. That's 5 words. Is the Slytherin house traits. So there you go. Cunning and shrewdness, resourcefulness. I think I remember that one now. Whereas Ravenclaw, let's look up those. A passion for learning, wisdom, and thinking outside the box, often with a need to be the brightest. Their traits being intelligence and wit, creativity and originality, love of learning, individuality and eccentricity, wisdom and foresight, acceptance and open-mindedness, and intuition. So there you go. And of course, you know, people being individuals and having their own personality, and all of us being different, that's going to showcase in Ravenclaws differently. So I don't know how much Ravenclaw or what it is of Ravenclaw I exude necessarily, like what comes out more prominently to other people. They have as traits intelligence and wit. I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily super intellectual. I'm not necessarily like super intelligent, but I like intelligence. I like to learn. I want to be more intelligent. Might be that little nerdy vibe. Yeah. Just a little bit nerdy. Just a little. You got me with that one. I do value wisdom, and being able to understand situations fairly well. I like academic knowledge. So yeah, I definitely fall under the Ravenclaw house for sure. It's a great compliment to be told that, so it's good people to aw. Hey, I have no qualms with being nerdy, man. That is one part of my personality that I actually have accepted. There's a lot of people out there, maybe most people out there, struggle with like some part of their personality and like being a certain way. And I have those areas, but nerdy is not one of them. I don't think. I am full on nerd. I know that. I love that. Yeah. Let's nerd out about books, about astronomy and the stars and reading and D&D. I am full on nerd. I accept that. I will wear that badge with honor. Yeah. Proud to be a nerd, baby. Let's go. So yeah. So that's me. I'm a Ravenclaw. Ravenclaw represent. Let's go. That was quite the tangent, but I love it. I gotta get my brain back on track here. Okay, so back to Taurus. I think we got off on that tangent due to talking about being in control, and that can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. But you can say that about really any character or personality trait. There's going to be good things, there's going to be bad things. So whatever you are, just be mindful of your strengths and how they can exhibit themselves as weaknesses, and just try to work on your weaknesses and tempering them, and there you go. You can really say that about any zodiac, any personality trait. You're going to have strengths, you're going to have weaknesses. Just be mindful of them. And, you know, try to become a better human being and work on those things. So, a little sidetracking is always fun. Yes. Especially when it comes to things I nerd about. When it comes to Taurus and Scorpio, teaching each other things, Taurus can teach a Scorpio how to enjoy the present moment and being grounded. Just, you know, chillax, vibe, it's okay, we're steady, we're stable, just, all right? Scorpio, though, can teach a Taurus how to embrace change, how to go deeper with emotions, and use quote-unquote manipulation as a form of intentional action. Now, I didn't necessarily look into that to figure out, like, what does that look like? What does that mean? So if that intrigues you, maybe do a little research on your own. And then, because you can use manipulation, typically a bad thing. You can use it in a way for good, but you'd have to be really careful with it. So using manipulation as a tactic or an intentional action, maybe not necessarily recommended. Not necessarily recommended. You can use it for good, though, if you know how to use it correctly. Typically, though, manipulation, not a good thing. I don't believe it's meant to be harsh. Yeah. A subconscious action? Possibly. If the two signs fail to compromise when working with each other, though, this can lead to intense conflicts. So, yeah. Because remember, Taurus having that stability, that security, liking to be grounded, And then you've got you've got Scorpio that likes to merge things. Oh, in fact, I'm getting into that in my next little blurb here. So let's just move on. So if you'll remember in my video on Aries, I mentioned how zodiacs build on preceding zodiacs. But Aries doesn't have a preceding zodiac because they're the first one. So they're bold, they're impulsive, you know, they lead with blind ambition sort of thing. Because of that, Taurus then coming right after Aries builds off of that and kind of becomes the opposite in a way. So Aries is just like, let's move, let's go, blind ambition, and just like barrels forward. And then you have Taurus, they like to settle. Again, gonna use that word, they like to be grounded, to be stable in earthly things and endeavors. All right, they shy away from that impulsive, just gotta barrel forward nature of Aries. And they're a little bit more grounded and settled. Scorpio, as their opposite then of that, will tend to share. They will want to merge in the hopes that that will bear more or better fruit. So they're kind of like in the middle. Let's dig deeper. You know, let's share things. Let's, you know, they're wanting to move. They're wanting to change, unlike a Taurus. And so they can be stubborn in that way, a Scorpio, where it's like, I want to move, I want to change, I want to, you know, let's figure out how we can do this better. And Taurus, they've already made their path. They're already focused, which focus is good, but they're already focused on their one path that they've already decided on. And so change and the possibility of a different opportunity or growing different, you know, whatever, they struggle with that. Whereas Scorpio's like, come on, let's go, let's merge, let's learn, let's dig deeper. And so if Taurus and a Scorpio come together like that and they don't figure out how to compromise, that's going to lead to some intense words. So yeah, if you're a Taurus or Scorpio, just be mindful of that when dealing with the other constellation. And there you go. That's basically it. Pretty simple. A little bit shorter than my not by much though, actually. That's kind of surprising because I felt like this was gonna go by super fast. But yeah, that's Taurus. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Not sure I'm gonna be able to answer them, but I can try. So yeah, I actually know somebody who, this is kind of funny, been quite, oh good, I'm glad. I know somebody who was supposed to be born a Taurus. They ended up being born early though, to where they ended up as an Aries. So dealing with both of the signs that we've talked about. So they were supposed to be born the second sign, ended up being born the first sign, and I can actually see both in them, which is funny. I don't know if there's something to that. I was also born really early. They were only born like a week early, but because of like the due date situation, they were supposed to be like early on in the Taurus dates. And then, therefore, being born a week early, they were actually born as an Aries. And I can see both Taurus and Aries in that individual, which is kind of funny. I don't know if that's something that's typical. Like, can that happen when you're supposed to actually be born one sign, but then you're born early, so you're born a different sign? Is it typical then to actually exhibit personality traits, qualities, whatever, of both signs? I find that interesting. I was meant to be born either 2 weeks or whoa. Okay, so there's a difference there. 2 months, or that's what, like 8 weeks, which means, so you would have been, if it's 2 months, you would have technically been like a preemie, I think. You would have been schmau. 2 weeks, though, isn't bad. That's considered more on the normal side, I think, because you can, it's safe to deliver after 37 weeks. 2 weeks early would be 38 weeks. I'm not sure that cleared things up. So yeah, I don't know. I find that, I don't know if that's, like I said, I don't know if that's like a typical thing, but I do find that interesting. And I wonder if there's something to that. I don't know. Maybe that's more research that I need to do to find out if there's anything about that. I've never thought to look that up before. But yeah, there you go. There's Taurus. So if you're a Taurus, take what's in this video for what it's worth. Be mindful of your strengths and weaknesses. And hi, buddy. Hi, Cosmo. My cat has decided to make his appearance. Hi. Oh, and his tail just went in front of the camera. And you're wanting to do it again. Don't make my body contort in weird ways. Huh? What do you want? Hi. Do you want... Can you meow for them? Would you like to make your presence known? He's not much of a meower, really, actually. Unless he's hungry or, like, really wants attention. Then he meows. Cosmo. Hi. He's just sitting there staring at me. Kid, yeah. I has black kitty named Cosmo. I have a void kitty. Huh, buddy. Come here. Hi. Can you meow for them? Is it possible? Is it possible? Oh, he's really... Cats are baby, yeah. He's my baby. Are you wanting attention? Huh? Oh yeah, you're soaking that up. He loves to have his chin rubbed. He doesn't like his belly rubbed. Some cats do. I did have a cat who liked to have his belly rubbed. It was funny because I had that cat and Cosmo at the same time. I don't have the other cat anymore. But that cat liked to have his belly rubbed and not necessarily his chin rubbed. He would always move his head to where you were petting like more his face or the top of his head. And then Cosmo is the opposite. hates his belly being rubbed, but loves his chin being scratched / rubbed. So it's kind of interesting. Our cat used to love belly rubs as well. She was cute. What kind of kitty? Calico, orange, some other kind. There's so many different kinds. Cosmo. Cosmo. Hi. He's now sitting facing the opposite direction, but he's looking. Hi. Hello. Hi. Why are you facing the other way now, but you're looking back at me? Goodness. Ooh, let me look that up. Siberian. She was, hypoallergenic. Nice. Let me see. Siberian. That is not how we spell that. Siberian cat breed. Ooh. So fluffy. I like it. I'm a fan. So fluffy. I want cuddles. Oh. Oh my goodness, this one's so fat. So much fur. I'm not entirely sure because I've never seen a cat like her elsewhere. Okay, got it. I wonder if maybe she was like a mix then or something. Either a mix or the breed is more on like the rare side maybe. Gosh, okay, I'm liking. They're so fluffy. They're so fluffy. Wow, and they can come in like all different kinds of colors. You've got orange, you've got white with a tabby sort of mix. There's brown, there's gray, there's white. They can come in all different kinds of colors. Gosh, they're so fluffy. Okay, I think I may have met a Siberian cat where I used to live. She was worth every penny in time I loved. Aww. Aw, that's sweet. Cats are awesome, man. I love cats. Especially, like, if you know how to treat a cat well and you earn their trust and their love and their affection, cats are just awesome. Cats are amazing. And they're low maintenance to boot too, which is also awesome. A Siberian's temperament is dog-like, loyal, intelligent, affectionate, and playful. Ooh. Okay. Dang. Man. That's so... Okay. That's... I could also nerd out about cats, by the way. I love cats. Explains so much. Nice. Oh, their temperament. I love cats. I'm sorry. Cats are better than dogs. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Cats are better than dogs. Not sure I'm sorry about that. Cats are better. That's all I'm saying. Oh, gosh. I love them. I actually want to get another cat. I have Cosmo, of course, and he's a little black cat. And then I want to get an orange kitty. I have had several different cats over the years. We did cats for a little while when I was little. And then we stopped for like several years. But we ended up moving to a place that had a mouse problem. So we got a cat to deal with the mice. And had that cat for 15 years. Said goodbye to him last year. And I've had Cosmo now for almost 6 years. So it'll be 6 years in August that I've had him. And he was born in July, I think. So, yeah. They do both have their benefits. This is true. Cats and dogs both have their benefits for sure. But yeah, cats are special in a good way. Cats are awesome. Dogs do have, they have their points. You know, they can be friendly as well and loyal. You know, the fact that you can train them to be service animals, which is awesome. Guard animals for your family and home, especially if you have little humans running around. You know, so dogs for sure definitely have their benefits, but so do kitty cats, and I like my kitty cats. So yeah, all animals really have their benefits. Well, yeah, technically all animals have their benefits. I was gonna say, well, maybe not all, but that's because I don't necessarily care for certain animals. But all animals do technically have their benefits. Our dog is really goofy. Ooh, what kind of dog? She runs up to us on our lap and lays her head on our chest. Aw, okay, that is adorable. Animals that want to cuddle with you is just adorable, period. Really. She's an attention chaser. Nice. Oh, goodness. I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of that since I'm just chatting now. Hello. She's a mix between a cotton... Wait, hold on. Cotton de Thule? How to spell it? And a poodle? Huh. Let's see. Cotton... Wait, cotton... What? No, that's a place. A cotton de Thule. That's spelled C-O-T-O-N space D-E space T-U-L-E-A-R. And a poodle mix, huh? Small doggy. Small doggy. Let's see. And poodle mix. That actually is like the first search option that you get. Some French. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking it's French. And French is difficult. For any of you French people, I'm sorry. But your language is hard. Of course, most countries that don't, where English isn't the native language, could also say the same thing about English. And I've heard that to be the case, where learning English is hard. So... A mix between two really smart dog races. She freaks us out sometimes. Uh-oh. Alright, so a cotton de Thule and poodle mix, often called a cotton poo or pouton or cotton doodle, is a small, affectionate designer breed weighing roughly 8 to 15 pounds. They are popular for being hypoallergenic, okay, low shedding, and highly intelligent. Boom! There you go. Making them great family pets or apartment companions with moderate daily exercise. Ooh. Alright, so let's look at images here. I want pixels. Okay, that's cute. That's kind of really cute. I mean, I've kind of already let... I was about to use a very interesting turn of phrase here. I've kind of let the cat out of the bag. Wink, wink. That I'm not necessarily a dog person, but these are kind of cute. These are kind of cute. I like it. That's their cute little squishable face. That's adorable. That's adorable. I like it. That's cute. Oh my gosh. Their faces are so flippin' cute. That's not fair. Oh my, what the? Okay, yeah. She's very adorable when you cut her hair down. Yeah, I'm seeing kind of a difference. There's like ones that are like really well groomed. Actually, if you groom it and then let it grow out just a little bit, I wonder if that's what this picture is that I'm seeing. That looks kind of nice. But yeah, then there's other pictures where their fur is a little bit more wild. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Little fluff ball. Dang. Okay. Cool. I like it. They're adorable. Very nice. I like it. I also like I like huskies. They have a reputation for having crazy personalities. I'm just saying their looks. I like their looks. I like the way a Siberian husky looks. Same with, it's a certain kind of collie. Let's see. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. So just a regular collie. So not like a border collie, but just like a regular collie. Or they might be called a rough collie breed. I like those. Those are pretty. Husky so baby, but they are a little, yeah, they don't necessarily have the best reputation personality wise, but they are pretty dogs. They are pretty dogs. And then I like the collie, or what it apparently is called a rough collie. I think this might have been, if you are familiar with the TV show Lassie, I think this might have been what her breed was. And I've met a rough collie in person, which was like years ago, back when I was little. And that was a nice dog. I don't know what their personality is. Okay, they are called a rough collie. Interesting. Intelligent, loyal, friendly, active, gentle, and protective. Gosh, they're so pretty. I like them. Anyways, I've been nerding out a lot now. Not that that's a problem. But I am done with talking about Taurus for today. I've given my whole spiel on what on the background of Taurus. It's nice. Maybe I should I should think about doing a Zatsu then every now and then, just so that way we can actually like nerd out about stuff. I don't do that, and it's because I struggle with coming up with things to talk about. This kind of came up naturally in conversation due to my cat walking into the room. So when stuff comes up naturally, I can talk about it. A Zatsu is basically just a talking stream. So actually, let me look up. What does Zatsu mean? Does it just mean talking? So the full word is Zatsu Dan. So it's Zatsu and then Dan is Dan at the end of that. But it often gets shortened to just Zatsu. So, okay, Zatsu Dan is the Japanese term meaning chatting or idle talk or casual conversation. So when a streamer is doing a Zatsu or a Zatsudan, it is a stream dedicated to chatting, talking, having conversation with their followers. So there you go. That's a Zatsu. But I can maybe try to see if I can do a Zatsu to every now and then to nerd out about something. It kind of helps though if there are people in the chat to chat with who will then say their own things, and then I can bounce off of that and, you know, create more conversation and stuff. If nobody shows up to the Zatsudan, it's kind of hard to actually talk, because the Zatsu is easier when it can actually become more of a conversation. And that's why I've shied away from doing Zatsus, because I'm very small. There's streams where I don't really have anybody in the chat to talk with. So there's that. Like I did a while ago, I did my trip Zatsu, where I had that like week-long trip, and then I did a Zatsu about it, and then I don't think like anybody was actually there to talk with, so I just did the Zatsu by myself. Yeah, I might wait a little bit and grow a little bit in size before I start making that a thing to try to do every once in a while. So it is what it is. But yeah, there's a little peek behind the curtain of things that us small streamers have to think about when it comes to doing stuff for our channel. And on that note, I actually have stuff going on behind the scenes. So there is stuff to look forward to in the future. One of them is hopefully happening next month. Dates aren't set in stone yet. I'm hoping for next month. Just a little something. I can't spill the beans. It's still a work in progress. It's a little secret. And then I have another project that I will be revealing later as well, like a few months from now. So it's a little ways down the road, but I do have some fun things coming. So just to whet your appetite, surprises coming down the road eventually, for fun stuff to happen here in our little neck of the woods. So I do like surprises. Surprises are nice. So yeah, look forward to that. The thing that I'm hoping to happen next month, once I get dates confirmed, I might go ahead and reveal then what it is. Just so that way there's, an actual definite thing to look forward to instead of waiting until like the week before or whatever, to reveal what it is. So yeah, just keep your ear to the ground. Hopefully I'll be able to say something soon-ish about that. Because like I said, I'm shooting for it to happen in May. So we'll see. I'm not the only one involved. So there's other people that I'm working with as far as this surprise goes. And that's as much as I can say about it at this point. But yeah, there you go. I would be hype about it. It's a fun little something. At least I'm excited about it. So, and well, yeah. I was about to say something else, but I probably shouldn't say that. I'm excited about it, so I'm hoping that by me being excited about it, you guys will be excited about it. So yeah. But other than that, I'm gonna go. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so it is more Fields of Mystria, for a nice little cozy stream. And then I think the day after that, I gotta pull up my schedule here. Okay, yeah. So the day after that is more Baldur's Gate. So just saying. And we'll continue. We're still in Act 1, still kind of beginning early stages. And but yeah, more BG3 D&D fun, more nerding out. So yeah, look forward to that as well. Yeah, I know you can't wait. I know you can't wait. So yeah, look forward to tomorrow and the day after that. I mean, I would hope that you would look forward to every day that I stream, but Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and head on out of here. So I hope you have a good rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you. I hope to have a nice day myself. And don't forget to read a book. All right. Bye.